So if I'm hearing you right, because you did put yourself as number one for a period of time, you really were focused on you and for this competition. Where are you now if you're not number one?
Oh, I'm like the last, like honest to God, bottom of the barrel. And I don't think I was there before.
Hey ladies, you are in for a treat today. You are getting a fly on the wall observation of a free consultation with me. Terah came to me because even though she's competed in a bikini competition for the last 6 months, she has not been at the place she wants to be for her health. I'm so grateful that she's letting you listen in as we dive into where her health is, where she wants to be, what's keeping her stuck, and how the work I do can help get her to the place she wants to be for her health. Keep in mind that every free consultation I do is so unique to each individual I talk to. Welcome to the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast with certified health and life coach, mom of four, and just all-around lover of all things 80s, your host, Jennifer D'Amato. Buckle in, let's get started. First, I want to hear what's going on for you. So what challenges are you currently facing in your health?
Currently, right now in my health, I actually have a few different challenges that have kind of just come up for me or are newly discovered. So right now, since June 15th-ish last year, I have stopped, I've taken a hiatus kind of working out and going to the gym and drinking water and doing all the things that you're supposed to do. Really, I feel like then I decided to do it so I can enjoy, in quotation marks, my summer, which then came shortly after my indulgence. I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So I had some surgery to rectify that in the beginning of September. Then I got some pathology back October where they didn't get it all. And now I'm waiting to go back in 3 weeks' time to have a second operation done. So I'm kind of, I think, at a standstill because I'd love to go back to working out and do everything. But then part of me is like, do you go back for 3 weeks to know that you're going to be laid up for 10 weeks? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. A little self-sabotage, I feel like, but that's where I'm at.
Thank you for sharing all of that. So what I heard you say was you do have a few different challenges going on, that back in June, you were stopped working out, you stopped drinking water, doing all the things that, you were doing for yourself, just so you could enjoy the summer. And then you were diagnosed with thyroid cancer. In September, you had surgery. And then October, you had some work that came back that now you're having a second operation coming up. You feel like you're at a standstill and doing some self-sabotage. Did I get that right?
Absolutely. That's exactly it.
And you did say that standstill part is, do I start now? Do I wait until after the second operation? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So even with the second operation coming and looking at that as kind of, it does adjust your timeline. Before though, like you said, you had stopped working out, you stopped drinking water and just weren't doing the things anymore that you wanted to do for yourself. With keeping in mind, of course, you have this second operation coming. What do you envision for your health though? If you had total success in your health, what would that look like?
Wow. I feel like if I had total success in my health, that I'd have to say health and life, maybe, that I would make the time to work out daily. I would be, drinking water, eating clean, doing all of the things necessary that I know are necessary to to feel at my best. And I think I would do all of those things to achieve some really good mental clarity and just be totally focused on, I guess, just really doing the best for myself.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned health and life, that there's those two pieces for you, because you said make time to work out daily, drink the water, eat clean. And this all gets you to that place of achieving mental clarity. Did I get that right?
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. Now, everybody's definition can be a little bit different when we say eat clean. Can you tell me a little bit more, like when you envision yourself nourishing your body, eating the foods that you feel like this is what I want to be doing, this feels successful, what kind of foods do you envision eating?
Well, what I kind of go back to is prior to June, I was in a preparation for a bikini competition. And so I really kind of learned my best eating and what felt best for my body from, let's say, last December, January, right through till June. So I went through a variety of different diets or different caloric intake and trying different things just to see what best could build my muscle, what best gave me endurance in the gym, and lots of different things and different supplements to kind of see where my body was at. So it was definitely a huge learning curve for me because prior to December, I never really went to the gym or ate, healthy or clean. So for me, I feel like eating a lot of salads, vegetables, lean protein, but definitely in a way where it was portioned. It was, I did my meal planning. What I brought for lunch was what I ate. I never went to the cafeteria. I never used my bank card at work. I was thirsty, I drank water because I needed to get in, 130 ounces a day. So all of those things, my body, I feel like, felt at its best when I followed the regime of portion control, adequate water, vitamin supplements. That's what when I look back now and think about what healthy eating is to me, that is definitely it.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for clarifying. Like I said, that definitely looks different to everybody. But what I heard you say was, salads, vegetables, lean protein, and you did the meal prepping. You were portioning out, you were eating what you brought, you honored your body with water, vitamin supplements, doing all the things, like you said, doing all the things that your body really achieved what it wanted to.
Yes.
Awesome. And you said, so that was for specifically a bikini prep, a competition. Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. And that was in June, and that's when you actually took that break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'd been working, out in the gym, an hour and a half, 2 hours every day, getting in an extra hour of cardio. I'd really been working, it was really goal orientated for me. I needed to get to June 15th. So everything about that lifestyle, for me, I was number one. My going to the gym trumped everything else that was happening in the house. My making sure that I got out for that 10K run didn't matter what anybody in the house needed to be doing. I was number one. So June 15th, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I'm going to eat pizza now, which was not very good, I will add. And then I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to just sit back and enjoy the rest of my summer and not be so rigid in my schedule. And now I've kind of found myself where everybody else is way before me. And I'm at the end thinking, how did I ever have time to breathe? How did I have time to go to the gym? How did I have time to meal prep? How did I go from being so far ahead, number one, to so far behind?
So if I'm hearing you right, because you did put yourself as number one for a period of time, you really were focused on you and for this competition. Where are you now if you're not number one?
Oh, I'm the last, honest to God, bottom of the barrel. And I don't think I was there before going into this bodybuilding competition. I certainly never felt that way. Now I feel like my needs are 100% last. And not that I think anyone else, is purposeful in making that happen. I just feel that I give so much more of myself than is at all necessary. I don't think anyone expects it. I think it's really me doing it. I'm not really sure for what reason, but that's just where it's at now. Like, to find an hour to go to the gym. I couldn't even find an hour to go Christmas shopping today. So I don't know where I found 2 hours to spend in the gym.
When you said, if I may, just for clarification, ask, so back in June, after the competition, when you took the break, did you go from, let's say that all the things you were doing for the prep were 10, did you go to a 0? Was there anywhere in between, or did you cut it all out?
I cut it all out because we went on vacation a week later. Like, I went for a run the morning after the competition because I was so ingrained. And I had got up and gone for a run. And that was the last real physical activity that I probably did for ever till now.
Okay. And so if that was a 0, so you were at a 10 as far as how much you were putting into yourself, now it's a 0. Anywhere between June and now, has there been anything in between, or has it stayed at a 0?
It stayed at a 0, I would say.
Okay. So a 10 is really hard to achieve, right? To live that lifestyle all the time, especially that kind of prep and what you were doing. A 10 is hard. Is there somewhere in between the 0 where you are and the 10 where you were that you would like to be?
In all honesty, I feel like as hard as it was, per se, to be that 10, the way that I felt then, I think it was totally worth putting in the 10. I feel like an 8 would maybe be only going to the gym, 5 times a week, or not doing the gym and cardio, kind of picking one and staggering them. But I definitely want to be a 10 back in my eating and what I'm putting in my body, because the way I felt at that point, I feel like there is nothing better than that feeling. So I feel like it's worth all the effort and worth saying no to foods are not going to make you feel good or are genuinely just going to make you feel yucky. It's not, I don't think it's really worth it. Now I see that, or now I feel it even, I can say.
So I think we have 2 things, right? Like that you said, I love how you differentiated that it's worth being at a 10 when it comes to your nutrition, in the planning and all of the food, right? The things that make you feel amazing. But an 8 for the gym, where you might modify and not take as much time, or you combine some workouts or alternate, weightlifting and cardio and those kind of things. An 8 would still feel true to who you want to be and where you want to get to.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So that really does lead me into my next question I have is, what is in your way? Like, why haven't you been able to get back? Like, I mean, we can look at the diagnosis clearly being a big factor in there, right? Of why you haven't been able to get the results, get back to that 10 and an 8 on your own. But is there anything else getting in your way?
Most definitely, I think I definitely am in my own way, 100%. Maybe I am, I don't want to say scared, but maybe I'm fearful that it'll be like I was prior to, the January of last year. Like, I'd buy a gym membership and I'd never go, or like, I don't want to be the failure, right? And so, like, do you buy a gym membership and not go? And then just be like, oh, that's just one more thing that you paid for that you don't use. Do I need to buy a new gym outfit? Do I need new shoes? All of these like little things that I know it sounds really trivial, but, and again, just going back to the time where I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm tired. So that the diagnosis does give it that different, like I'm not feeling my best, but I feel like I'm not feeling my best because I'm not eating my best. It's a whole, I don't know. I just wish that I could remember and would have journaled or written down that when I started this journey last January, how I actually felt. So then I could maybe compare, remember you did feel this way before and you kind of worked past it and you were tired because you were eating not great food, and you were tired until you started drinking water and taking vitamins. And, that did take a month to start feeling better. I wish I could actually catalog and remember how I felt when I started, because all I have in my head right now is how I felt at the end when I had such good mental clarity. I was in the best physical shape of my life. My nutrition was so on point, and I felt like $1 million. If you could ever feel 100%, even after, the dehydration and all of these things, I still felt on June 16th, 100%. I feel like, am I going right to perfection versus remember how it was when you did start to begin with? You probably felt all of these things, but I don't remember them. I only remember that euphoric, amazing, oh my God, you did it. You are strong enough. You are good enough. All of those things that I probably told myself for the whole 6 months leading up to it were not going to happen. And then finally I was like, well, I am enough. I did do it. I did complete it. I, did what I said I was going to do. And now it's done. So I don't know if that's, I wish I could just go back to remembering how I felt in the beginning.
I think there's this amazing thing in our brains that happens. Terah, do you have children?
Yeah, I have 2 daughters.
Okay, and so you have more than one. So you did it again, right?
Yes.
You had one, you went through that process, and our brains have this amazing thing where they remember what you said, the euphoric, wonderful parts, not all the icky, the hard, all that, right? Our brains want to pick out those great things. You had that second child, you were like, oh, I could do that again. Oh, remember. And then, oh, wait a minute. That was tough. I think our brains do that. Just to have some grace for yourself. I think that's so common to happen. But what I'm curious about is prior to that journey you went on, that December, January timeframe, when you started that 6-month journey, can you remember what it was that triggered the start, or how you even got started doing something like that for yourself?
Well, a girlfriend of mine had done it the year previous, and I was like, okay. And then I needed something to challenge myself. The year before, I had done the local 10-mile road race where I'm from. I've never really been a runner. Never really stuck with anything. I would train and then I would stop, and I'd always make an excuse of why. But bodybuilding is something where there is no excuse. If you ate, you ate. If you didn't, work out, you couldn't lie. Putting on that bikini, if you didn't put in the work, you knew, right? And so I felt like as soon as if I made that commitment, I couldn't cheat myself. I couldn't lie to myself, because a lot of times I feel like that we give up on ourselves before we give up on anybody else, or we break plans with ourselves before we break plans with anyone else. So, there'd be I can't make it to the gym today. And I'm like, well, you're putting on a size small bikini, so you better get there. All of those things. So I feel like the symbolization of the bikini and being not able to quit on yourself because you couldn't lie about it, you would know.
Mm-hmm.
And, I went into that bikini competition with definitely stretch marks, loose skin from 2 babies, loose skin from being overweight for 25 years. So I didn't go in there with a perfect, tight skinned body. So what, the end result was all dedication and hard work. To some people might look at that and be like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. But for me, I was like, I've never worn a bikini in my life, ever. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And if I don't go to the gym, or if I don't eat, on target, and I don't follow my plan, then if I don't feel good in that bikini, then that's on me. No one else can give that to me. So if I give up on myself, I'll know. And I think that's what really kept me going, was because if I couldn't, I guess, lie to myself, or I couldn't lie to other people and make it okay for myself.
Mm-hmm. The girlfriend that did one, was she somebody that supported you or encouraged you through the process?
Absolutely. When I first had started, or I'd asked her for help because she, was really big into fitness and all this. And I was like, okay, help me out here. I need a meal plan. looking on Pinterest and I'm all this and I'm, I needed so much guidance because like I said to you before this, I had never even stepped foot in the gym. Like I was Googling exercises as I was at the gym, like how to do them properly. And she wrote me out every week, new exercises, new meal plan, YouTube videos of this and that of how to do it. Every week I'd have to send bra and underwear pictures. So she kept me accountable 100% the whole way through.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I definitely applaud you for committing to that. But I heard some things in there that I want to just kind of summarize what I heard and make sure that that's what I was hearing, that you needed to challenge yourself, that you did a challenge and that kind of excited you to have something to challenge yourself, push yourself. Your girlfriend had done one and then she was support. She was encouragement. She gave guidance. And then you said you had accountability, right? You couldn't lie to yourself. You can't, like you said, you see everything. Everything really was there. So you had this higher level of accountability and you had a plan that you could follow.
Yeah.
Did I get that? Would you say that summarizes this?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I actually wanted to hear that story, because you had success and that's the time you can draw back to that felt like you. That's the place you want to get back to. And it's not about the stage, right? I think I understood but it's about how you felt in that time. Is that right?
Absolutely. Like it all not again. Like I'm not saying I would never do a competition again. You know what? For me, it was never like I never, want to be a bodybuilder. Like I said to you, I don't have the body that gets you going anywhere from beyond, putting in the work, putting in all of the things to say that you've done it. But as like to make a career out of it or anything, like I'm not there. So for me, it was just to set a goal, to see it through, to have accomplishment, to learn so much about myself, to learn so much about others, and definitely to learn about like the gym life. That is a different place. And I feel like that is maybe why so many people are so intimidated, because it is so intimidating. But then once you're in it, you're just like, oh my God, if people could just see that everybody started at zero somewhere in here and didn't know how to do one thing on this machine. And like I said, I was on the YouTube, standing in front of this machine, following the instructional videos on how to do it.
Good for you. Good for you. I love that you already know about yourself, that when you have a plan, when you have support, and when you have someone holding you accountable, you step into that place. You show up for yourself in a big way. That's, I think, so good to see it, to hear it, to know it, because so many people don't realize that piece that you already know about yourself, that I can set a goal. And when I have these things, I have a plan, I have support, I have accountability, I can do it. I can show up on a stage in a bikini. I can do it. That's the kind of level you showed up for. And what I do, the work that I do, Terah, with my clients is exactly that. There is a plan that we put in place for you. And what it achieves, though, is what you're looking for. It's that health and life success. It's getting that mental clarity and addressing nutrition, water, holding you accountable, giving you the support the entire time so that you can reach the goals you want to. That's the work that I do with my clients. And if you'd like to hear more about how I work with my clients one-on-one, I would like to be able to share that with you.
Absolutely.
Hey ladies, I hope you're enjoying this fly on the wall observation of a free consultation with me. Terah is so amazing and so honest, and she knows the things she needs to do, but she's just stuck. Does that sound like you? You don't have to have competed in a bikini competition to feel stuck in your health. Here's what you can do now. Head to my website, www.healthcoachforlife.com/about. Click where it says book a free consultation today. Or click the direct link in the show notes to this podcast so you can book your free consultation. Let's talk about your health goals, why you're stuck, and let me help show you how I can help you get unstuck. All right, let's finish up with Terah's free consultation. Awesome. So I do work with you over a 90-day period. And what that really looks like is we meet just like this over the phone for 60 minutes, and we're going to dive deep into the areas that you find you need success in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set goals, and those are going to be based on those things. We're going to have an amazing, powerful session where we really dive deep into what the goals are that you want. And I can tell already they're going to be focused around that nutrition piece. You want to get to a 10, and what that looks like to get you back to that 10. Where I know it's going to have movement and exercise and getting back to that gym. You know the workouts, you know the things to do, and getting you back to that 8. And then I can tell right now too, that mental clarity piece, working through those thoughts, the things that have been keeping you stuck. I want to dive into those and start breaking them down so that you can get unstuck and you can again feel at the top of your game like you did back in June. How does that sound so far?
Amazing.
So, okay, my biggest goal though is to set you up for success. I feel like when we have that plan in place and that we kind of look at the totality of what goes on your day to day, the totality of what goes on in your life, that we fit this into that, where you get to go back to being number one without feeling like you're compromising everything else. My approach is going to be taking small steps. And what that really means is just, we're going to start working on the thoughts and the habits and the things that have been keeping you stuck, and 1 to 2 small steps each week. It leads to the sustainable change. What you did in 6 months was amazing. So I know it's already within you to say, okay, so today I show up and do this. Today I show up and do this next thing, and then I build on that. That's the same approach. So I feel like this would definitely be successful for you because you've already done something like that and seen what it can do for you. Now, we're not going to get back on a stage, but we are going to have you feeling like a 10 when it comes to your nutrition and an 8 when it comes to feel like your movement, and that goal that you saw yourself having mental clarity in the future, like you have that, that's where the end result would be. How does that sound so far?
You know what, like, honestly, almost speechless, like what I would give to go back to that exact feeling. Yes.
Yeah. And I think in that time, looking at everything that's going on with your current life, your health right now, I really believe there's probably some stress going on that we need to address. And then talk about some beliefs about food, because doing the bikini prep really can kind of shift those thoughts too and dive a little deeper into that. How would you feel about reducing stress and starting to get into our thoughts behind the food we're eating?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'd be game for that.
Awesome. Here's what I always tell people is, you may have had success before. You may have felt like, I haven't done this in so long. It's been another 6 months and I haven't done anything. But I can promise you definitely it's fun. That's the only way I can operate, Terah. I can't really do things any other way. And I want it to be fun because I feel like if it's fun and manageable, it'll be sustainable. You'll feel like, oh, well, that doesn't seem like so much. And I just had this great success. And hot dang, I'm drinking all my water. And yeah, Jen, I got to the gym 3 days this week. I'm starting to feel it. And all of a sudden it just kind of snowballs, getting you again closer and closer to where you want to be. Hey ladies, I'll tell you what, Terah was so excited to jumpstart her health and get started. And you know what? I am so excited for her. I have no doubt in my mind she's going to get back to a 10 for her nutrition, and I bet she'll surpass that 8 that she set for a goal for her workouts. She's so amazing, and I can't wait to work with her and open up a whole new way of showing up every single day for herself. Don't forget, if you are interested in booking a free consultation, You can do that by clicking in the show notes below or heading to my website, www.healthcoachforlife.com/about, and click to book your free consultation. Until next time. Hey ladies, want to connect with me outside of this podcast? Come follow along on Instagram at Jennifer_Health Coach for Life. That's Jennifer_Health Coach, the number 4 life. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search Jennifer Coach, the number 4 life. I also want to help you take your health, both physical and mental, to the next level. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to reclaim your body's intuition. If that's for you and you're ready for support and accountability like you've never had before, then why not book a free consultation with me by visiting my website, www.healthcoachforlife.com. That's www.healthcoach4life.com/request session. I've also made it really easy by including a link in the show notes below. For any questions about the podcast or to submit a question or topic you would like discussed here, you can email me at jenniferdamatopodcast@gmail.com.